Ho, 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 and Merry Christmas. Yes, it's that time of the year again. My name is Anna Amelia, and I'm from Northeast Animal Rights. And today I want to talk to you about how you can have a kinder Christmas. I'm going to take this off so we can make this a bit more serious because it is quite a serious subject, and put my glasses on so I can see a little bit better. So Christmas is a very, very stressful event for lots and lots of people. The build up to it, the actual day, the aftermath. It's never enough time to do all the things you want to do. Everybody's dashing around, being very, very stressed, and there's never enough money to do all the things you want to do as well. But let's take a look at the actual day and also the different events throughout the years, over the centuries, which shape the actual day we have now. So in 2023 years ago, according to the Christians, a baby was born. He was born, he was a refugee, and he was born in the poorest of circumstances, in a stable amongst animals. Gifts were then given, celebrations had, and the celebrations and the gifts given, that's part of the reason why we do what we do today in terms of giving all the gifts that we give. But we give gifts in excess, we really do, massive, massive gifts, and lots of people spend so much money, and it causes a lot of pressure and a lot of stress on families who don't really need it. The the baby was born amongst donkeys and cattle. Donkeys are used in reenactments around the world. Another exploited animal to be used in a way which the donkey can't agree to. And other animals like reindeer, you've talked before about reindeer being used in events as well. Now, cattle obviously are used as part of the feast. Pigs, other animals as well, animals who would have been in the stables around this baby being born. These are animals who are being used in the feast. And then we have another invention, which has nothing to do with actual Christmas. Christmas sort of being the derivation of Christmas being the Mass of Christ, the celebration of Christ being born, the baby. But Santa Claus, he's a combination of a number of characters from around the world, and he's kind of like developed over the years. Most of you will know that Santa Claus's clothes weren't originally Coca-Cola red, they were green. But he's used now to entertain children and also to keep them on the best behaviour and the build up to the big day. Excuse me. We have Christmas trees and Christmas cards, all of which have come in more recently, more in Victorian times. And Christmas cards were created in Victorian times, and they were used to help promote the brand new postal system. But can we enjoy Christmas, the Mass of Christ? Can we enjoy Christmas, the actual day, regardless of whether you're celebrating it as a religious event or not? But can you celebrate it without all the excesses and the stress and the damage to the animals and to the environment? Of course we can. We have a number of leaflets here. I'm going to show you these. These are leaflets this is one from Animal Aid, and it's Celebrate a Compassionate Christmas. This is another one from Animal Aid, Happy Christmas, and this is about turkeys and the alternative. And this is a one from, a relatively new one from Viva, which we've been using over the Christmas period. We've been using all of these, to be honest, and also the other ones, which we'll come on to later on. But there are many, many ways in which you can have a kind of Christmas. First of all, if you're writing Christmas cards out, shorten your list. If you're sending Christmas cards to people who you haven't seen for years and years and years, unless there's a really good reason because they live abroad, why are you sending cards? It's just a waste of money, it's a waste of resources, and it's a waste of effort. Can you send electronic cards, e-cards, or can you send personally written emails rather than those awful round robin messages which get bunged into Christmas cards? And really, they're not very personal at all. That's the whole thing, isn't it? It's about making that personal contact. It's not about just doing what everybody else is doing and sending standard messages through. And also the cards that you send, can you send charity cards? I've got some really good examples here. I mean, this one's a very, very subtle vegan message from Viva. Eat, drink, and be vegan, but they do have more subtle ones. And they have, and this one as well, Pigs in the Wood has this gorgeous one as well. And all of these are, they're printed on with a recycled card. They are totally recyclable, and they also help these charities into the bargain as well, which is, a win-win. So if you're going to send them, chop your Christmas card list down and use charity cards, but also check that make sure they don't have any, like non-recyclable bits like glitter or little bits of little diamond things and little plastic bits sticking on them as well, or ribbons, because they can't be recycled. And also another thing you can do as well is look at the wrapping paper you are using as well. So what I do is I try to avoid using wrapping paper because it's a lot of ink, it's a lot of paper being used, a lot of resources, a lot of energy being used in the creation of it. And it just ends up, it literally ends up in the bin the second it's been torn off, and it's not going to be used again. So it just seems to me just a total waste. I use you know, gift bags, which I use, which I ask for back year after year. We get them backwards and forwards, and then it's the same bag for the same person, and it's just so much easier, and it actually ends up being part of the tradition as well. But if you are going to use paper, use tissue paper and use string, not sellotape. Or you can also get paper sticky tape now as well, which is really good. The post office, and I was going to say Wilkinson's, but Wilkinson's obviously aren't there anymore. But there will be other places which sell this paper, this paper tape. Look for reusable crackers. Crackers are an absolute bane of my life because they create so much damage to the environment. You know, apart from the fact they've got gunpowder in them, but also the fact that they've got so much plastic waste in them as well. Who really needs another plastic, you know, like a mini screwdriver set or a plastic mustache, which is just going to get thrown off, you know, taken off the second you're down from the dinner table? It's utterly pointless, and it just adds to the mounds and mounds of plastic waste which we see every year. And when we do litter picking as well, we see all these little bits of things flying around. In terms of presents, you know, if you have a talent, if you're creative, use your talents to create a really unique present. I've got a lovely one here, which is created by my friend Elaine. I mean, she is so talented, and I really appreciate, you know, her gifts. It's kind of like her using her talent, but also her giving me the time as well. And you know, some of the best gifts I've had are these personal gifts, because I know there's a lot of thought gone into it. It's not just kind of like somebody just dashing out and thinking, I'm going to get a gift, I'm going to get a gift voucher, I want to get this dress or this bit of perfume. You know, it's something which is really personal, and it's so much cheaper to create as well. If you do want to buy gifts, you know, buy from small businesses. Look at Etsy and you know, vegan businesses and Etsy, or one of the many fabulous vegan traders in shops like Sugar Nuns, alternative stores as well. They both do gift vouchers. So, you know, if you're not sure what somebody's particular taste is, get them a gift voucher from one of these ethical stores, and they will really appreciate you spending there. Look at charities and you know, like Animal Aid and Viva as well. You can also get things like, I've got a calendar here as well, which I'm going to show you. This is last year's calendar, and this is one from Pause for Thought. But many charities have calendars as well, and they use them to raise valuable funds for their charities. So use them, you know. It's a kind of like a reminder of what the charity does every day in the year, but also it's a really good way of them raising funds. So look at which charities you support have calendars as well. Also do things like you need to look at the sourcing of gifts as well. The Ethical Consumer has a really good, it's not actually, it's one of these ones where it's kind of like covertly vegan, because it's not actually technically a vegan magazine. By dint of the fact that it's called The Ethical Consumer, a lot of the stuff that they cover in here is accidentally vegan. So they will they cover things like, in here they'll talk about the ethics of you know, skincare products and cosmetics and everything as well, and it talks about the sourcing of them as well. I found out, for example, in the last magazine, that one of the shops which I buy vegan chocolate from, Hotel Chocolat, is actually one of the worst ones for ethics. So do a little bit of research as well, because it does mean a lot in terms of, you know, if you're buying chocolate, whether it's fair trade, you know, it has to be ethically sourced. And that you're not contributing to, you know, people are getting paid the right amount of money for what they're producing as well. So this is a really good magazine to have a look at. And other gifts as well. This is a gift which I'm getting for Christmas. This is a gift from Viva, Do No Harm. It's a beautiful sweatshirt from Viva magazine, from Viva charity, should I say, and they have a lovely catalogue, as do Animal Aid and lots of other charities. Animal charities sell merchandise to help them continue raising funds and everything as well. So it's a good way of you getting something really good and also making some money for their charities. If the person you're giving a gift to is open-minded, look at adopting an animal for them. I don't think you hear this jingling around. I kind of forgot that I've got this on. Actually, it's my Christmas jingly thing. It's not Santa's not coming. He's not ringing bells. It's actually just me with the jingles on here. But there are some, you know, a lot of charities, animal charities, sanctuaries, like Millingtons, for example. We have this one here. We have Star the Sheep. Sorry, Sunshine the Sheep. Sunshine the Sheep. I know it responds to Star as well, but this one's on Sunshine the Sheep. And they really appreciate, you know, the animals getting adopted. Millingtons have had an advent calendar of animals to be adopted pretty much every day on their social media. So have a look at things like that. You know, isn't it so much better to help a charity, help an animal, and educate somebody who is open-minded about the animal that you have adopted for them. So learning about the sheep, learning about their individual personalities, for example, in this case. Isn't it, it's just so much better than giving them something which, a jumper or some toiletries, which is going to end up either, in another charity shop or getting regifted or recycled in the new year, or just dumped. Okay. Or make a donation in the receiver's name. I mean, that's something which I would love to do. I've had that in the past, where somebody has sent me a little card and said, I've made a donation to Hillside or to Red Wings in your name. Far better than me receiving something which I'm not going to use, or really, I've got so much now. I mean, the age I am, I have pretty much everything I need. So, while I'm grateful for people giving me gifts, I would so much rather the money be used in a much more productive way. And it is important that you tell people that that's what you want, because it's one thing you kind of like being ethical in what you're given as well, but you need to make sure that people understand why it's important that you receive ethical gifts, or ethical ethically sourced gifts, or things which are thoughtful and useful to you and to the charities that you care about. Now I'm going to look at, obviously, one of the things here. Sorry, I'm just looking for these leaflets I've got. I've talked quite a lot about the use of animals and events, and these are some of the good leaflets and information which are out there about the use of reindeer in events and other animals as well. If you know of events, please avoid them. This is a very, very simple way of having a kind of Christmas. Don't support them. And if you inadvertently find yourself at an event where there is one, because you weren't aware there was going to be something, please make your feelings known to the organisers, and just tell them that it's not the kind thing to do. It's not the right thing to do. It's certainly not the right thing for the animals, and it just sends out the wrong signal. Excuse me. The most important thing you can do over Christmas, though, is do not shy away from being that vegan member of the family who ruins Christmas. Okay, it's really, really important that you do not shy away from this challenge. Long gone are the days where people we have to sit back and take abuse or unkind comments. We need to be challenging these now. Okay, we can do it kindly, and we should do it kindly, and we should do it with respect, and we do it with humor as well. But we shouldn't be sitting back and accepting that cruelty is the right way to go. It isn't. If people are sitting around you eating meat and they ask you why you're vegan, you need to tell them. You need to tell them that it's for the animals. It's wrong. It's just fundamentally wrong. And tell them about the alternatives. Don't shy away from these challenges. It is really, really difficult to do, particularly on a day like like Christmas Day. But you can keep it simple. But it's really important that everybody normalizes veganism and being kind to animals, and denormalizes the conditioning that people have had over the years, where people think it's perfectly normal to sit down with a table full of dead bodies. Okay. It's all the turkeys, the chickens, the geese, the ducks, the cows, the pigs, the fish. All of these animals are slaughtered in the billions for a one-day event, for Christmas meals coming up to the event. It really, really is just abhorrent, and it's totally unnecessary as well. So this is supposed to be because obviously 2,000 years ago a baby was born, and we've added to these traditions, because of winter and the darkness and festivities, kind of like trying to keep people getting people through the dark nights and everything as well. But it's no excuse. There's no excuse in 2023 for us still to be sitting at a table where there's dead animals being served in the name of Christmas. Christmas is supposed to be about peace and joy, but how can we have peace and joy when we don't have it on our plate? When our bellies and our plates are full of animal abuse and torture and pain and suffering. There's so many ways in which you can have a kind of Christmas. So I'm hoping that has given you some vegan food for thought, and it's given you some ideas. I think probably the most important thing, that all of the things I've said there, the most important thing there is to not shy away from telling people about the vegan message. Use this opportunity. It's talk about veganuary. Try to persuade people to sign up for veganuary and help them and make them realize how easy it is to do. So I'm going to sign off now. So however you spend your day, if you are the only vegan in your family, we're sending you lots of love, and we hope that it goes well, and and we hope you get through the day in one piece. But please do everything you can over the Christmas period to to speak out for the animals and to have a kinder Christmas. So this is Anna Amelia from North East Animal Rights signing off and wishing you all a very, very Merry Christmas.